Apple Computer, one of the most innovative and fastest-growing companies in the history of American business, has joined with ITT Industrial Credit Company, a billion-dollar financier, to bring you the Apple Leasing game. The game is unique and is available only to Apple dealers for Apple and Apple-provided products. The objective of the Apple Leasing game is to reach Apple happiness. Apple happiness is knowing how to use Apple Leasing, a high-technology leasing program whose single goal is to help you sell more Apples, more peripherals and software, and to earn lease origination fees. Now let's play the game. First, we'll take the well-known historical path of lease resistance that most of you have been down before. There are billions and billions of leasing companies with $1 million to spend. The problem is that they all look alike and all speak with forked tongues. They promise but cannot deliver instant credit response, maximum approval ratio, and quick pay. The conventional way of providing lease support is no longer acceptable to a world in which computers can process ideas in seconds. The stagecoach driver can't convince the Apple dealer that he has the answers to modern financial problems. Instead, when times are tough, many leasing companies hide out from the dealer in need. Bank lines dry up, and many leasing companies close their doors for good. The typical processing of a lease application requires so many signatures that a sale is frequently killed by the frustrated customer who asks, "What am I doing here, buying a computer or signing my life away?" Assume that you can collect all of the customer's signatures and the documentation is correct. Historically, this has required several bounces back and forth between the dealer and the leasing company, usually resulting in a no-win situation, loss of your time and loss of the sale. Most leasing companies ask for so much financial data that it is uncomfortable for you and uncomfortable for your customer. Asking a customer for financial statements is like asking him to get undressed. Even if you get it all right, the wait for credit approval takes its toll on the customer. Buying a computer can be an emotional sale, and a sale can die of old age or a broken heart, and the customer will look for a new computer to love. Still another problem for the dealer is getting paid on time. Father Time takes his toll on the dealer that has to wait for his much-needed money. Most leasing companies are pretty good at keeping their doors open, but when you need them, they're either closed, out to lunch, or on the road. Leasing salesmen are needed when you need them, not necessarily when they call on you. Your leasing company must be tuned in to the fading dividing line between commercial and consumer business. Most computer users have commercial purposes in mind for their Apples. Everyone has to start somewhere. Just because credit information on a small or startup company is not available does not mean that you cannot write a lease. That is, unless you're dealing with ordinary leasing companies. Many transactions will be borderline, requiring a little extra effort and a little extra risk. Most leasing companies will not dive in and take the kind of risks we are prepared to. Most leasing companies want the big deal. These cigar-chomping lenders would rather make $1 million loan than write a $1,000 lease. The opportunities for low-ticket leasing are limited indeed. Beyond this point lie billions and billions of other reasons why you cannot win with conventional leasing programs. If it has not dawned on you by now, heed the experience of most dealers and get off the historical path of lease resistance. Instead, head to the path of Apple happiness. This is the gate to Apple happiness. And the key to happiness is Apple Leasing, that company which leads the world in financial technology and innovation. Of the billions and billions of leasing companies in the cosmos, only one uses the techniques of computer and computer telecommunications to beam you along to increase sales. Apple Leasing is the Apple way, the way in which Apple dealers only can reach Apple happiness. Let's design a trip down Apple Way. Our journey really starts at the Apple Store. There, lease applications can be submitted at 3 in the morning or whenever you get them. You send them by Apple Communications from an Apple computer, of course. So let's telecommunicate over to Hal's place, where our computer never sleeps. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, Hal, our central computer, is ever ready to accept lease applications. When the credit agencies open their doors in the morning, your request will be first on the queue. And although credibility gap is an obstacle to other lessors, it is not for us. We can jump the chasm by obtaining instantaneous information. And we don't require financial statements to reach a decision. Usually, we'll approve credit without them. It's not simple unless you know Hal. Hal's our central computer. He has a bank of auto dialers that call everybody in the credit business like D&B, TRW, Pinger, Chilton, and CBI. He pulls in credit investigations and reports so a decision can be made as fast as possible. And you don't run in circles at Apple Square. We give you 1-day turnaround, and usually we can approve a lease in as few as 20 minutes and rarely go beyond a couple hours. Because we can move so quickly, before you know it, you're back on the road to Apple happiness. Some companies get stuck here, but we let you bridge the gap in software leasing. We'll bundle it up with the equipment because we know we're on solid ground. But what's this? Another obstacle? Remember Risk Lake. No credit company can get around it. But we're pretty strong swimmers, and we're not afraid to take the plunge. We've gone against the current in everything we do to provide you with a special program, and the credit risk is all part of the game. Apple Leasing will give you the maximum hit rate in the industry. We'll give you the best approval ratio on submitted credits. And not only do we give you the quickest credit decision in town, we let you draw on us with the Apple Express system. We'll pay quickly. Our checks are never in the mail. We don't use the mail. We use a draft system which lets you write the check. And we won't paint you into a corner with complex documentation. Apple Leasing is automated, online, and in-house, with leases designed with approval in mind. Either the terminal printer will complete them, or you can paint by the numbers. Now, take a jump over competition. Apple Leasing will stretch a long way for you. We're flexible. We'll do leases as small as $1,000 on the low side, and we have no limit on the high side. Our lease terms are designed to meet your needs, starting with 2 years and up to 3 years, 4 years, and even 5 years. It's amusing to us how many financial institutions want to jump out when the economy dips. We'll be there in good times and bad, for every dip and every rise. And not only will we pay you the full invoice price for the equipment leased to a customer, we'll even pay you a bonus. You can tell you're on the road to Apple happiness. But with all this automation, where do you come to with a problem? Apple Leasing's 800 number takes you right into our offices from wherever you are. But this is your program. From now on, the way to Apple happiness is up to you. And ahead are a number of whys in the road. It is the last leg of our journey, but only you can get there. You must answer the following questions. Why would my customer lease? Because it's easy. It's in-house financing and offers your product on a monthly basis to the customer who wants it. Why should I offer leasing? Because your potential customer is not a psychic. Asking for financing may not have crossed his mind. Why should I offer it to the guy in blue jeans or the lady with a child in her arms? Because the guy in blue jeans is a stockbroker, and the lady with a child is a lawyer looking for a word processor at home. If you've answered all the whys, you may enter Apple happiness. And although the game is over, Apple happiness is just beginning. Your representative, your documentation, and your toll-free number will tell you how to use Apple Leasing, the automated, online, on-site answer.